Okay, guys, so today we are going to talk about rock ages and figure out how we determine which is older. Okay, so if you did your notes, we have three things that we're going to be looking at. Okay, our three vocabulary words: the fault, the law of superposition, and inclusions. This first picture includes everything but a fault. Okay, so the law of superposition says that the oldest rocks are on the bottom while our youngest rocks are on the top. Okay, so we have Q on the bottom, we have K on top. We got to figure out everything else in between. So our oldest layer is going to be Q, it's on the very bottom. After that, we have to look at our layers. We have P, okay, which is the this inclusion here, and then we have O. Which one was on top of Q? Well, they're both on top of Q. Which one between P and O is going to be older? Well, if you look right here, since P runs on top of O is older. Okay, so after Q, we have O. And we have the same thing. We got to look at what comes after O. We have N and we have P. Well, it's the same exact situation we had before. Which one's older, P or N? Right? Since P is on top of N is older, so N comes next. Same exact thing again. We have M and we have P. Which one came first? Since P is on top of M, think of it like icing on a cake. Okay? You have to have that cake there. You have to have that layer there before you can put your icing on it. M had to be there before P could go on top of it. I think also about like the paint lines on a road. Okay, we had to have our road, Q, O, N, and M, before P could go on top of it. Okay, so after N is M. So Q, O, N, M. Next one, L, same deal. P is on top of it, so L has to be older. I know on this next one, what's on top of L? Well, we have P and we have H. P stops. It doesn't go, up to the next level. So we have to sit and we have to think, man, which one's going to be older? Right? P or H that's on top of it. And since H is on top of P is older. Right? It's younger than all these other ones on the bottom underneath it, but it's older than H. H is on top of it. So after P, we said H comes next. What's on top of H? J, or I, sorry. I can't read my letters. I's on top of H. After I, now J, right? And on top of J is K. Right, so we have our oldest down here, Q. Our youngest is K. I'm going to go over with you our next slide, okay? I'm briefly going to talk about it. I'm not going to give you the answers, right? But again, think about what is our oldest layer? What's our layer on the bottom? And it's okay that B and A are on here. You're only going to write them down once, but it's just telling you that this layer is the same as this layer over here, and this layer B is the same as this layer here. Right? That's why A is on there twice. Since A, now if this was another letter besides A, we'd have to take that into consideration. But A and A, we only have to write it once. That's why you have 5 blank, because we only have 5 letters. So to solve this one, think about what layer's on the bottom, what layer's the oldest. Then go from there. What's on top of that layer and what's on top of that layer. Okay, this one does have a fault. E is a fault. And look at your notes there because I gave you a hint about something about a fault. Okay, always think about a knife, okay, and a cake. It would be so easy to be able to take that knife and put it in a cake pan and go, oh, ta-da, cut, cake. But it doesn't work like that, okay? We have to have that cake there before we can slice it. So faults always come after the rock that they cut, even if it's an inclusion like D. Right? This is just a little bit of rock layers. I showed you that first problem, kind of walked through it with you. This one I've talked to you about. Find the oldest, find the layer that's on the bottom, okay? Go from there, go up from there. What's on top of that, on top of that, on top of that? Okay, and remember, faults always are younger than the rock that they cut.